Let's talk about some things that are happening that are creating some questions or challenges for our users. And I want to just address those. So we've had in the last 24 hours a lot of feedback about bots are stopping and they're going inactive. And so I want to reassure everybody that we're aware of it. The team is looking into it as we speak. We're not entirely clear just yet on exactly where that's initiated from. We aren't seeing any errors. So for the most part, when we're seeing those issues, for those of you who have experienced it, we're not seeing it come across as an error, which means that it's not an issue. Generally speaking, it's not an issue with the bot, and it's not an issue, but we don't know. So I don't want to say what it's not. What I want to say to you is that the team's working on it as we speak to identify and address it. Sometimes with Binance, historically with Binance, they have made changes to their API, and those changes happen and can cause disconnects and those kinds of things. Again, we don't know at this point, but what we do know is that we're working on it. We'll get it resolved. And all you've got to do, if you do see that happening, is go back in. If you go into the bot and you see the settings icon or the gear icon, click on that gear icon. It'll take you back into the settings page. Just change it from inactive to active and hit save. And that'll get it running again. We apologize for the inconvenience. We know it's kind of a little bit of an annoyance and a headache. We're going to get all of that dialed in and we'll get it resolved. As soon as we have it locked down, we will announce that. So I'm going to ask you guys, please be patient. I know there's probably a lot of questions around it. The simple answer at this point is we're doing our best to get it handled. In the meantime, you should be able to just go back in and hit the change it from inactive to active. Now, there are some situations where maybe you are seeing an error message and you're seeing an insufficient funds notice or something along those lines. It says insufficient funds, and there is a big red line. Well, every single one of those situations that I've seen has been one of three things, and it's all related to the need to have BNB in your wallet in Binance and to have BNB enabled for use for paying trade fees. Every single one of them, I have not come across a single situation where it did not involve BNB. So let me walk you through a couple of things. BNB is important because it is how Eazybot, as of today, is programmed to pay trade fees. The most consistent experience happens that way. Now, it can pay trade fees out of the currency pair that's being traded. So let's talk about what this means. For those of you who are new to crypto and new to trading, maybe, every time a trade is initiated, meaning a position is bought, and a trade is closed, meaning we're selling that position, there are trade fees that get paid to the exchange. That's how Binance makes money. So they're small fees, but they make a lot of them because there are a lot of trades happening. And of course, when you're running an algorithmic software like Eazybot that's doing trades across tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of bots, there are a lot of fees that Binance collects. Now, Binance would also love to promote their own token. Their own coin is called BNB. And so they give you, the user, a discount when you pay trade fees with their coin. And that's part of how they've grown BNB to be the number 3 largest coin by market cap in the last couple of years. So there's a 25% discount. You get to save on fees. So Eazybot is programmed to work most stable when you have BNB in your wallet and you're using it to pay fees on your trades. So the couple of things that you need to know is, number one, obviously have BNB in your wallet, but you need to have it in your wallet before you start to trade. So we've come across situations where we've got users that have started trades and then they remembered or they were informed you need to have BNB. And so they've gone in and added it after the fact. Well, if the trade is started and there's no BNB in the trade, then Eazybot's looking at that trade and looking to pull the fees out of the currency pair. So for example, you bought 0.1 of XRP as an example. And Eazybot needs to pay a fee for that buy, and it comes out of that pair. So instead of 0.1 XRP, you now have 0.099 XRP because the trade fee is 0.1% without BNB, and it's 0.075% with it. So now instead of the 0.1 that Eazybot bought on your behalf in this trade, there's 0.99 of this XRP. When it goes to sell, Eazybot's looking to sell 0.1 XRP, but it's not there anymore. It's only 0.99, and that's what causes the error. So right now, again, if you start a trade and there's no BNB, it's going to want to close the trade without BNB as the way to pay fees. The short story here is make sure you have it in. You've got BNB set up before you start the trade, and there is also a switch that you're going to want to make sure that is activated, and that is to actually pay BNB fees. To pay trade fees using BNB. To get there, you go to your dashboard. It's the person icon. And then you're going to go down to your dashboard and then scroll down a little bit on your dashboard. And from there, you're just going to click the button to turn on your fees. In fact, while we're talking about it, I think it's important enough that I grab that link and let's show it to you real quick.
David, let me show them my back office too on the trading, because you went over something and I think it'd be good for them to see it visually on how to reactivate the bot to get that bot working. Okay, so let me
hang on. Let me finish here and then we'll jump in.
Okay, great. I'll get that ready.
All right. So here's a link. We'll drop it in the chat for you guys. How to use BNB to pay fees and earn a 25% discount. This walks you through the steps that you need to take in order to make sure that it's set up. So we scroll down here just a little bit, and the profile icon that I mentioned to you a moment ago, when you're in Binance, it's up here. Now, of course, this is the desktop view. If you're on mobile, that person icon or profile icon is in the top left corner. And so when you hit that profile icon on mobile, if I'm not mistaken, there's a yellow hyperlink off to the right a little bit, not too far down, and you're going to click right there. It'll take you right to where we're going to go next. Once you click on the dashboard, you scroll down right below this area right here, and you're going to see something that says your trading fee level. Click on trading fees, and it'll take you here, and you're going to want to make sure a spot trading fee looks like this using BNB deduction. You want to make sure that's turned on. So those are your steps before you get started trading. If you do that, then all good there. It'll avoid you seeing some of those error messages that you might have seen with insufficient funds. So those are two of the issues as it pertains to what may cause Eazybot to stop trading. One of them is something totally within your control. That's pertaining to BNB. The other one, right now, we're getting dialed in, and we'll get a fix in place for that. So Coach is going to show you, he's going to walk you through how, if you have a bot that has stopped and it's been trading and you see it go from active to inactive, Coach is going to show you that super, super simple, very easy to get it started trading again. And then we'll jump back in and we've got a couple more things to talk about.
Okay. Guys, trust me when I tell you this. This process is so much easier than what we experienced in the past. There were glitches in that program as well, but when it would go off, we wouldn't even know it because we couldn't tell by looking. We'd have to actually go in to our tokens and then look through to find a certain activation button. We had to look for several different things. Sometimes we had to go through all the parameters and reset them. With this is because of the migration of the software that we're seeing a few of these issues come in, but it's a super easy fix. Now, if you go into your bots, you're going to see it's going to show zeros right now. This is going to be changed. It's not going to show the 24-hour past historical data for each coin. This is the 24-hour historical data that the coin has done, whether it's gone up or down in the last 24 hours. I don't know if you understand that or not. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to be a trader to understand this. What is going to go here, though, and I talked to Muhammad about this today. We could bring him in if he is on the call, is the percentage of profit that you've made since you started using the bot. And you can see here, people say, well, what kind of percentage could I get a day? Well, this is real trading. This isn't something fake, guys, that they're promising you 1.5, 1.9% daily. You could see XRP, which I think is going to blow up, isn't doing as much as these other coins. But if you notice here, you see where it says that where these red X's are? That means the bot has moved you to an inactive position And I'm going to show you. It's real simple. All you got to do is click here, click right on the coin at the bottom. I'm going to show you a couple times. I did this and it's doing the same thing on mine as is yours. It goes to inactive. We don't know why. We're going to figure this out. This is a programming issue or a exchange issue. We'll figure it out. But all you got to do is go back and hit active, and then you come in, and this will go away as well. That's something that the programmers will get that fixed right away. That little pop-up window that came up, but you can see it's green again. It's that easy. So we're going to go to XMR now. And same thing, you're going to go over to this settings gear right here. You click on the settings gear. And you see its status is inactive. And we're going to go ahead and save that. And that's how easy it is, guys. Now, if I could do it, anybody could do it, okay? I'm sometimes computer challenged, let's say. But it's really easy how we set this up for you guys. Okay? David, come on back in.
Yeah,
can I say
yeah, of course.
I wanted to say one more thing. Guys, Peter and Breezy have been working non-stop in the support calls. And I just wanted to thank them personally for their efforts and how they're serving the community. If you're a national director, part of your responsibility is to do one support call a week. And so I will be reaching out to you this week because we're going to lift up the arms of and support Peter and Breezy. So I will be reaching out to you if you're national director, and we'll get a live support system going. Hopefully we'll have it going 8 to 10 hours a day without Breezy and Peter being on all those calls. Okay? So David, come on back in.
All right. Got it. Yes, the call's being recorded. There is one other thing that I wanted to jump into that I think I saw pass through in the chat, and that might be that your bot has never started trading. And so if that's the case, generally speaking, there is one thing that you missed in the setup, and I want to show it to you. All right, so what you might have missed is this important step. When you're connecting your API to Binance, there is a button here. Right now it says save. It will say, I believe it says edit restrictions. You're going to want to click on that, and then you want to make sure you come down here and click on enable spot and margin trading. All right, so if you do not enable spot and margin trading, it's not going to be able to trade for you. The API will not be able to execute trades. So if you've set up Eazybot and you think it's all connected and it's still not taking initial trade positions, getting started going, more than likely you missed this step. So make sure you go back. Now, here's the thing. You won't be able to go back and enable it. I don't believe. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me here, but you can always just create a new API. Worst case scenario, you can always delete an API, create a new one, add that new API. If you've done it once, you can do it again. Just add a new API and connect it to Eazybot and just make sure that that one has you enabled. So that could be another issue that you guys should be aware of. And if you're not seeing your bot start trading, it could be that. All right, so I'm going to pause for just a moment and acknowledge, I know there's a lot of folks that have joined us since we started the call. And we talked about a couple of different things at the beginning of the call. I want to acknowledge all of you who are here with us. We want to thank you for your support, your participation. Every single one of you who has chosen to use Eazybot to trade crypto for you, we appreciate you. Every single one of you who has chosen to share Eazybot with others, we thank you and we appreciate you. We appreciate your support. Eazybot was started to provide a solution to a problem, and we'll continue to improve this solution so that it is as easy as can be. We're in the startup phase right now, and the biggest challenge that we have as a startup is that we are growing exponentially faster than we anticipated. And so it means that we've got to keep up with that growth. One of the things that we've had to do in keeping up with that growth is we've had to expand our server capacity. our ability for Eazybot to still perform what we demand of Eazybot from the corporate side and from Mohammed's side is that Eazybot's looking at the market every single second. And it is looking at the market to make a decision about buying or selling on your behalf. Just think about it, guys, as we continue to scale and we've got thousands and tens of thousands, and really we anticipate millions of bots running within the next 12 to 18 months. That is our roadmap, and that is what we're preparing for. That's a lot of demand. And so we are moving right now in a position to put ourselves in a position where we can support that level of growth. Wasn't something that we had planned for this early on, but we've had to take on that initiative. And our chief senior engineer and developer has spent 70% of his time in the last week in preparing for this migration. So some of the time and attention that we might have had with him on other things that are core to the project, we've had to reallocate his time and attention into getting our server migrated. So I stop and I want to pause and acknowledge, guys, that we know that there's a little bit of turbulence for some users. We know most of our users are happy, having great experiences. And so we want to acknowledge those that are having less than great experiences. We want to acknowledge that it's happening. We're aware of it. We're doing everything in our power we can to resolve it. We're showing up on support calls. We put together a support system, a knowledge base. I'm going to go back through that before the end of the call for those of you who might have missed it. And so we're going to continue to layer on bigger, better pieces, make all of this experience that you're having the best possible experience. I want you to know that the worst possible experience that you're going to have with Eazybot is the one that you're having now. We only get better from here. We're a company in launch phase, and we're launching in massive, massive scale. We're doing our best to keep up and actually get ahead of it so that the experience that you have exceeds your expectations. So acknowledging that we're not quite there yet, but we definitely are on our way. And so we appreciate your patience. Thank you for showing up on this call. These calls are important because it gives you an opportunity to learn firsthand, ask questions, take that information back to those that you are connected to, and especially those that you're introducing. So one other really important initiative, we've talked about some of the issues with bots stopping. We've talked about our support system. Again, let me jump in. Actually, I'll come back to that at the end of our call. One of the other things that's on the roadmap that I know is important to a lot of users, a lot of you on the call, is Coinbase. We've got another exchange that we've been promising you guys, especially for our US users. And Coinbase is coming. It is a little bit more challenging than I shouldn't say than we anticipated. However, we've had to juggle what I just told you, which is a server migration where our chief programmer is spending a lot of time in order to be able to support everybody. And he's also got the responsibility of overseeing the Coinbase integration. So there's just a lot happening at the same time. Coinbase does not provide the level of support that, say, Binance did, and documentation and so forth. None of that is anybody's problem. We're working through it as fast as we possibly can to make sure that it comes online. So what we are doing, what's happening in the next couple of days, is we are bringing our national directors that have access and that will be using Coinbase. Our national directors will start using Coinbase here in the next couple of days. We're gonna launch that with them just to, again, test our ability to scale. Any potential issues, we want to be able to see it and identify it in a small group before we launch it to tens of thousands of users. So it's right around the corner. Mohammed's been testing successfully for the last couple of weeks, getting some things dialed in. One of the things that we're excited to offer you in Coinbase is the ability to trade against USDT, USDC, and USD. So a lot of options there for you for our Coinbase users. Also, a lot means that there's a lot to program and a lot to understand. And so all of that's got to get dialed in. So national directors coming online in a couple of days, which then means that for everybody else who's waiting for Coinbase, you're coming on next. Hey, Coach, you actually raised your hand. Brother, you can come in here anytime.
I know, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Mohammed is with us right now. Why don't we let him come in and explain that and see how close we are. Mohammed, are you here, brother? You know what? We might have to make it. There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you, Coach, for hosting this call. Yes, Coinbase is right around the corner, but I just want to make sure that it's working properly for everyone on big scale before we launch it to everyone, because My main concern is to have the product, the core of the company, the product to be working as perfect as it should be. So it's just a couple of days of testing, and then we have it available for everyone. We are planning actually to release it for the national directors maybe by tomorrow or the day after maximum, so that they will be trading for 2 days. Then we launch it. This is the plan. If anything happens in between, we'll keep you guys updated. But this is our plan, to let the national directors, at least a group of 20 or 30 people, trade before the majority of the people jumps in. If everything is stable and working properly, then we launch it to everyone. We apologize for the delay, but we wanted just to make sure that it's actually as good as it should be.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
No
Hey,
problem.
Mohammed, while you're here, the next thing that we wanted to touch on, and I'd love for you to speak to this, is our withdrawals. So
Yes.
we had a withdrawal process. We had to put a pause button on. Do you want to speak to that real quick?
Sure, this is very important. Actually, the most process that I enjoy is paying out, but unfortunately, I had to stop it because of we had some people attending to they wanted to withdraw more than what they have in their balance, and due to the changes that we were doing at the back end, limiting the withdrawal to $9.99 per withdrawal. So this have overcome the kind of security that we had to the number of that compares the amount that wanted to be withdrawal to the amount that they have in the wallet. So we have seen a couple of people trying to withdraw, like they had less than 1,000 in their wallet and they're withdrawing 10,000. So I had to pause everything so that the company is not going to be losing a lot of money. We have already processed 70 plus withdrawal requests. Now we have pending around 205 withdrawals. We got the full reports now from the developers. We're just comparing and investigating. Within the next 48 hours maximum, all the pending withdrawals are going to be either paid or rejected. Rejected basically because of the reason that they have withdrawn more than what they have in their wallet. Paid out is going to be just for the people who have a genuine withdrawals. We're going to process that. We will try our best to do it within the next 24 hours, but maximum is 48 hours, and everything is going to be paid out, and we're going to open the gate again for people to start withdrawing money.
So, Mohammed, don't go anywhere. I want to say something, and Coach also, I want to say something that brings us back to something that we talk about that's really important that's happening right now, and that is Founders Club. And, these are the kinds of things like, Mohammed, as the CEO of the company, is spending his time, overseeing withdrawals. He's going through this manual process of withdrawals. It's an auditing process that helps make sure that the system is working. But at the same time, what it means is that there's a little bit more friction than what we would like as a company for you as the user to experience. Part of the reason that Founders Club is such a powerful balance for both the company and for you, the user, especially if you're taking advantage of it and pursuing it, is that it rewards everybody that's here right now participating with us with an opportunity in exchange for some of these things that aren't quite dialed in just yet. 6 months from now, guys, all of this is worked out. It's automated. It's the most beautiful experience in the world. Today, as a company in launch, at scale, explosively growing, there's a lot that we're doing manually, and we got the CEO of the company looking at some of these things in detail with all of the other things that he's got to do to make sure that there's integrity behind our processes. So, Founders Club, how does that relate? It relates in that there is a huge, huge, huge opportunity that Eazybot's willing to share with you. Again, it's kind of a big thank you for those of you who are helping us to grow. It's a lot of reason why we're experiencing exponential growth. And so we want to encourage you guys, take advantage of the Founders Club. It's our thank you for being patient with us while we grow, and then understand. And on the other side of this, we get it fixed very quickly. We get things dialed in very quickly, get the automations turned on, and 5% of sharing one of 1,000 of 5% of Eazybot's total revenue, I think will become retirement income for some of you guys down the road.
Right. Let me just add to this, David. Just hitting on the Founders Club. Basically, the Founders Club are people who have believed in us, even though we're still not perfect yet, because we're dealing with a software, and it's a new software. Any software in this world goes through steps and through these kind of challenges. If some of you have already worked in the IT industry, and we knew that is going to happen. So the people who are going to be Founder Club, basically some people who have joined right now at this challenging stage, where we have these small glitches here and there, but we are solving it as we go. As David rightly said, maybe in 6 months from now, everything is going to be perfect. But as we go, we're going to do things manually. If we have to do things manually, we will do it manually. We get things moving and get the people on trading. In terms of the bot itself, it's working perfectly. We will not compromise on that, on whatever reason is, because this is our product. That's what we are selling to the users. What we're giving to the users is the bot. Anything around that, we're working around tightening the things, making sure that things are working properly, the compensation plan, the withdrawals, all of this around it, it's going to be perfect in some time. So as a thank you for the patience and being able to build even within this environment is, I think the Founders Club deserve to have this 5% paid out, because they're helping us grow within this situations that we're in, which is normal. I believe this situation is normal, but we wanted to jump into the market in advance before having like everything perfect. Because if we had to wait to make everything perfect, then we will wait for another 1 year or maybe 6 months at least. So we wanted to jump in and give whatever we have, and let's say give rewards to the people who are going to stick with us and help us during this time. And I believe right now we're growing much more than what we anticipated. We are almost 25,000 people right now. We have 25,000 registered users in just a matter of 1 month and 2 weeks. I'm not sure what exactly the time is, but this is big, guys. And we wanted just to make sure that we're providing the same kind of service to each and every one of these users. And we're pushing everything to move forward. And again, thank you very much for being patient. We know that we're running through some issues, some technical issues that we're on top of. But all are going to be resolved very soon. But what I can assure you, the bot itself is working perfectly. There are no issues. It's as good as it should be. Also, once we get the Coinbase in, it's going to be working properly as well. Coach, you have something?
Yes, Mohammed, back to the Founders Club, though, there are questions on how somebody's going to know that they have qualified for the Founders Club, and how soon we're going to have those numbers up, and maybe even the names of who's qualified back there. I don't know if we can put the names just because it is, but maybe we can put the first name and last and their initial, their last name, however. But they want to know how when they're going to know if they qualified or not, and how many people have qualified. So how soon will we have that done for them to begin to look in the back office and see that?
Can I speak to that real quick?
Let me just share something before you do, David. Right now, what I can share with you is the total number of users that we have and the total VIP members that we have, the total advanced packages. Right now, as I checked like a couple of hours back, the total number of VIP users that we have is around 200. Actually, I wrote this somewhere here. It's 224 VIP users. The advanced packages are 915. That was like 2 hours back. So it looks like approximately maybe not more than 100 or 150 people got qualified, but we still have to run that algorithm in the back end just to show the people in their back office how many people have qualified. And if you're qualified, you should have that as pre-qualified.
Coinbase also.
Yeah.
Well, the other side of that, just to let everybody know, we have to have 13,000 paid users for that to be filled. You have to have 1,000 VIP members and 12,000 advanced members. So we are still, we're not close to that yet, guys. So there's still plenty of room to qualify for the VIP. Now, that said, how long do you think it'll take us to get that up on our dashboard?
Okay, I'll leave that to David because handling that with the developers.
Okay.
This falls in the purview of, there's all of these things that are important, and we've got to prioritize what the team is focused on. And so at the very highest level of importance is making sure the bot works and making sure the platform is secure, right? So we've got to make sure that the bot functions the way that we expect it to function. And then as we scale, we've got to make sure that all the user information is secure and all of those things that have that come in the purview of security. So those are huge priorities, and they're huge undertakings, and they require a lot of attention and energy. So the reason why we haven't published the Founders Club is that there's new programming that has to be done. It sounds simple enough, but there is an algorithm that was programmed to read all of the users that were qualified. Now think about what that means, right? You've got to be VIP. You've got to have 3 people direct to you. You've got to have those 3 people that have a structure underneath them, and they all have to then be trading at least $600 in a bot. Like, that's programmed, ready to go. And then we went back to the development team when we made the announcement that we're going to remove the trading requirement and said, oh, by the way, we need all of this reprogrammed to remove that requirement. And that might sound simple enough, and maybe it is, but it then has to be done and fit into the workload of the team. So that is the only reason why it hasn't been published, is that it just has to be reprogrammed for that new set of requirements. And as soon as we can get that in front of them, then we'll get that published. So probably next week. They started working on it last couple of days. Then we started having some support issues that we had to put in front of them. And of course, support is very important. We want to make sure our users are having a great experience. So that's the only reason that you guys haven't seen it published yet. Mohammed just gave you guys a sense of where we are. However, in perspective, I want to say this, is that, a lot of folks, number one, we don't have people trading on Coinbase. There are folks that are just now getting in as free users. And there are a lot of people that are on the sidelines waiting to see what happens. Does the bot work? Does it perform? What is the experience that users are having? And so we know we have huge teams or big leaders that are bringing in huge teams. And so don't allow that number to set an expectation for you that it's going to take a long time, because we do still believe that as we get things rolling and things start going very quickly, those numbers in Founders Club will go away. So make sure that you're doing your part to secure your spot and to bring those in who are also securing their spot. All right, let's talk.
So go ahead. I was going to just recap. Guys, the bot's working. That's the number one thing. Number two, all of the software challenges that we have, our dev team told us from the very beginning, we had to be using it really, unless we wanted to wait 6 months, use it to find these glitches, and then they'll fix them. They're working on it. From what I understand, we just brought on another programmer full time. Number three, what I wanted to share with you guys about the Founders Club, don't wait. Go out and do it now, because there's still room. If you wait, you might miss it. I'm not going to say you're going to for sure, but you might miss it. Just go out there and work this. Guys, you guys have heard my story about my buddy who Ray Kroc personally pitched for the Detroit area, the McDonald's franchise, and they were going to give it to him for 50 grand. And he looked at his business partner and he said, if you do this, you're the biggest idiot I've ever met. 40 years later, he's sitting across the table from me. He said, Ken, the only idiot in that room was me. Okay, guys, listen, don't be that guy that 40 years from now, you sit across the table and say, well, these guys didn't seem like they had their act together. We do. We are working this consistently to make this thing a smooth running machine. Right now, yeah, there's a few hiccups. We're brand new. We just launched yesterday. Don't be that guy. I'm telling you right now, if you will just put your head down and say, okay, these guys are working their rear ends off. They are transparent. They're on the calls. They're showing their faces because they're showing it because it's real, guys. We got something that's going to change this space. So just be patient, and I'm thankful for every one of you that have been. There is one thing in the chat that I did want to address, and I'm going to turn it right back to you, and that is that pop-up window is coming back up. I just noticed it just now that says you don't have enough, USDT to do this. We had somebody, she says she has 600 allocated in that coin as recommended, and it said that she didn't have enough in her balance.
Yeah, that was me, Ken.
Yeah. So we just want to, there's little things that the migration is going to, these things are going to come up. That pop-up window was coming up before. They fixed it. They'll fix it again. Okay. Awesome. And back to you, David.
Yeah, Coach, I'm glad you said that, because the last thing I wanted to round out the call with here today is just an appreciation for the fact that you're dealing with a company that is willing to show up and acknowledge, answer questions. You're looking at the CEO and founder of the company sitting at his desk in his office in Dubai, and he's here to answer questions, to take ownership of the experience both good and bad. We've had amazing experiences. We have exponential growth. We had an amazing pre-launch event. Things are going phenomenally well for absolutely most of what we're doing. And then there's a small percentage that creates some friction and some disappointing experiences. And we're here to own all of it. And we're here to work through it and make sure that it gets better and better and better. And so again, I think that can't be understated, especially in the world of crypto. There are very, very, very few projects or companies or opportunities in crypto where you'll sit down and the owner and the executive team of the project will sit and talk to you and take ownership of the entire experience. So appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys on this journey with us.